Right now, Governor Tony Evers will continue to fund SNAP benefits in Wisconsin despite directives from the Trump administration. His decision next. And the Senate just voted on a potential deal to end the government shutdown and the results. And despite the cold, thousands took to the streets for the Madison Marathon. Our Nash Derrick catches up with the athletes who conquered the trek. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Breaking news just at the top of the hour. Senate members just voted on a bipartisan deal to end the shutdown. It passed 60-40 with Democratic Senators Catherine Cortez Masto, Dick Durbin, John Fetterman, Tim Kaine, Maggie Hassan, Jackie Rosen, Jan Sheehan, and Independent Senator Angus King voted to advance the package. The bipartisan deal would fund the government through January and guarantee a Senate vote on extending the Affordable Care Act credits. It still has to go through the House and be signed by President Donald Trump to pass. This comes amidst a weekend that saw thousands of flight cancellations and delays and the ongoing suspension of SNAP food benefits. Willie James Inman reports from the White House.
Senators returned to Capitol Hill for a rare Sunday session aimed at ending the ongoing government shutdown. As they worked through the weekend, the two parties reportedly grew closer to a negotiated deal to advance a funding measure. On Sunday evening, President Trump hinted a deal to end the shutdown was close.
Well, it looks like we're getting very close on the shutdown. We'll never agree to give any substantial money or any money to really prisoners, illegals that come into our country. And I think the Democrats understand that. And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending. You'll know very soon.
The shutdown continues to impact more than 40 million Americans who rely on SNAP food assistance. While there's legal debate over keeping the program funded, benefits remain in jeopardy.
I don't know how long the shutdown's going to last, and if we don't get SNAP until the shutdown's over, we could end up literally starving.
Air travelers are also feeling the shutdown's impact. The FAA has imposed flight restrictions on 40 U.S. airports to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. Since cuts began on Friday, more than 1,000 flights have been canceled each day. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned on Fox News Sunday travel disruptions could get worse.
As I look 2 weeks out, as we get closer to Thanksgiving travel, listen, I think what's going to happen is you're going to have air travel slow to a trickle. As everyone wants to travel to see their families, I think we're going to see air traffic controllers, very few of them coming to work.
Multiple airlines are offering ticketed travelers rebooking and refund options because of the shutdown. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
Sunday was another difficult day for air travelers as a result of the shutdown. The worst day for air travel since the shutdown began. By Sunday evening, more than 2,000 flights had been canceled and more than 8,000 flights were delayed. This according to flight tracking websites, FlightAware. Now let's go ahead and get a look at your certified most accurate forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
Yeah, the first snow, it has come and gone, folks. How do we feel knowing that from here on out, at least maybe our chances will increase in terms of snow chances? Over the next 7 days, though, I can confidently say we probably won't see any more of this falling, but we are getting closer to winter. So eventually we'll start to be talking more about snow. How much did we pick up? Well, estimated about 2 to 3 inches there in Lafayette County, stretching from Blanchardville all the way back south into Shullsburg. That's the area, or at least the county, that kind of has the highest, maybe radar estimated snowfall. Into parts of Dane County, Greene and Rock counties, we're looking at about 1 to maybe 2 inches of snow. Madison officially picked up about a half an inch, give or take, but a lot of this did melt as it was falling and then further once it landed because the ground was still above freezing. As we head overnight into Monday, it is going to be chilly and it's going to be a chilly start to next week. We'll talk about just how cold it's going to feel despite climbing into those 30s and if there's any rain in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Blaze, we'll see you then. And here in Wisconsin, Governor Tony Evers is refusing to follow directives set by the USDA to rescind all SNAP payments made so far. The state released food share funding early Monday morning. on November 7th following a federal judge's order to the administration to release SNAP payments in full in response to additional directives from the Trump administration to undo the issuance of funding. Evers says the following: no, pursuant to and consistent with an active court order, Wisconsin legally loaded benefits to cards, ensuring nearly 700,000 Wisconsinites, including nearly 270,000 children, had access to basic food and groceries. He continues, we are eager for the court to resolve this issue by directing the Trump administration to comply with court orders and provide the certainty to many Wisconsin families and businesses who rely on food share. Now, if you stepped outside, you know that today and yesterday had been pretty cold. The Madison Marathon started at 7 a.m. this morning, and unfortunately for the runners and the spectators, it fell on a weekend that a cold weekend that we haven't felt in quite some time. Our Nash Dare was there and caught up with some of the runners.
Snow last night, freezing cold temperatures this morning. You know, why wouldn't it be that way for a marathon happening in Madison? The 2025 Madison Marathon kicked off in true Wisconsin winter temperatures, in what felt like less than double-digit degrees. It was a cold one that a lot of runners had to prepare for spontaneously as we see the first snowfall of the year.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. You know, we started off with a little bit of snow on the ground, but, you know, we had it on the radar knowing that it'd be, gusts as cold as 10 degrees, so just trying to plan for that is a lot of work, but, you just do what you can and adjust along the way.
Now, by no means is Madison a stranger to the cold temps and snow in November, but for some reason, the first little flurries of the season always bring some added excitement to the holidays, and in this case, 26.2 miles.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite one. I mean, personally, and then as well as just the atmosphere. I mean, I did the Madison Marathon about 3 years ago. It just gets better and better each time, and this one's just, I love it.
It was a bustling day at Capitol Square with roughly 7,000 runners and even more friends and families surrounding. And through all that chaos, I was able to spot a familiar face.
It's incredibly awesome. People are so supportive. Everyone's cheering for you, giving you high fives. It really powers you through. It was a great course.
Along with Armand, a few other of our reporters and team here at Channel 3 were involved in the marathon, and we congratulate them on their successful race and hard work. At the Capitol, Nash Dara, News 3 Now.
Nash, thank you. Now, the fastest time this morning came in at 2 hours and 23 minutes, which was 3 minutes shy of the course record set last year. And as Nash just said, we congratulate all those that had competed. Right now, the Goodman Community Center is getting ready for their Thanksgiving basket drive. The drive helps make sure that families in need are able to enjoy a Thanksgiving meal this holiday season. Starting November 15th, you can donate the food and money needed to fill 4,000 baskets. The center has provided grocery lists of all the items they need to make this year's drive a successful one. Financial donations can also be made online at goodmancenter.org/donate. News 3 WISC-TV is a proud partner of the Thanksgiving Basket Drive. Now to my dog lovers, you're going to enjoy this one. Earlier today, the 2025 Wisconsin Dog Fair took place at the Alliant Energy Center, showcasing over 100 breeds of our furry friends. Attendees were able to take part in live demonstrations and seminars from experts, as well as learn on how to rescue and adopt.
This is a great opportunity to get educated on not just the different breeds, but we have a variety of different training groups here that can help give you some tips on training. We have a lot of different opportunities for you to learn about the different sports that you can do with your dog, Canine Good Citizen titles, an opportunity to meet Capitol Canines. So just a great opportunity overall.
The Wisconsin Dog Fair will return next year. Next on News 3 Now at 10, as the shutdown continues, consumer confidence is nearing record lows. The financial decisions some Americans are being forced to make.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Thank you for staying with us. Right now, a humanitarian crisis is ongoing in Sudan. Thousands of civilians have been massacred over the past week by Arab militias. It's the latest horror in a civil war that has left millions displaced, starving, and terrified. Elizabeth Palmer has more from London.
We know they executed civilians because they posted videos of it, shooting men and boys, and witnesses say more than 400 patients and families in a hospital. This is ethnic slaughter, Arab fighters killing African tribal Sudanese. After some women and children were allowed to flee, Al Fasher was cut off with no phones or internet. But a team at Yale has been watching from space.
Help us to
Natty Raymond heads the Humanitarian Research Lab.
Additionally, we use a lot of what's called photogrammetry.
That is analyzing satellite photos like this one of a residential neighborhood and shapes on the ground in pools of red.
The only explanation we can get is that red color around an object that is between 1.3 to 2 meters, that is blood.
So we're looking at a collection of people who've basically been executed.
Yes, this is what a massacre looks like in an urban area where civilians are trapped in their houses.
50 miles away, those lucky enough to escape are stranded in refugee camps, while international condemnation focuses on the United Arab Emirates. It backs these fighters who, back in Al Fasher, have committed mass murder and are now trying to hide their crimes.
Have you any idea how many people have been murdered?
We've seen at least 2 mass graves so far, and then as of yesterday, we see the first evidence of large-scale burning. We're missing about 200,000 people. We know that for sure.
Last week, the State Department said that the U.S. was trying to craft a humanitarian truce in Sudan, but for the victims of Al Fasher, it's already too late.
President Trump says people who don't support tariffs are, quote, fools. He made the comment in a social media post on Sunday. Trump said the U.S. is taking in trillions of dollars and will soon start paying down $37 trillion in debt. He also said a dividend of at least $2,000 would be paid to everyone, but not including people who are in, quote, high income. Comments come after the Supreme Court heard arguments last week over Trump's authority to impose tariffs through executive orders. Despite the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, holiday spending is expected to rise this year. The National Retail Federation forecast predicts holiday sales will reach $1 trillion. Last year, total spending reached $976 billion. Despite a projected rise in spending, experts say shoppers are more price sensitive and will be searching for deals. The government shutdown could also make holiday spending uneven for different income brackets. The NRF says the holiday shopping season will run from the beginning of this month through New Year's Eve. Again, continuing our coverage of the government shutdown. Now it's taking a bite out of consumer confidence. A survey out Friday shows it's near record lows. Andres Gutierrez is in Burbank and shows us how some American financial belts are being tightened.
Hello, may I have someone? For fast food giants, it's getting hard to keep customers coming back. Last week, Wendy's announced plans to close hundreds of locations, blaming a summer sales slump of nearly 5%. McDonald's is looking to boost sales by lowering the prices of some menu items by as much as 15%. The company is asking franchise owners to eat those costs to keep diners happy.
McDonald's has brought back their extra value menu to lower costs. Is it helpful?
Oh, yeah. Look how busy they are. They've got a line of cars here all day long. My 93-year-old mother goes to McDonald's.
The discounts come as many households are increasingly relying on credit cards. The average balance is now more than $6,000. That's a 10-year high. And more Americans are finding the dream of owning a home out of reach.
How many bedrooms is it? 3 bedrooms.
In Los Angeles, Liv Raphael is looking to buy her first home, frustrated in her year-long search.
They're out of the budget.
First-time home buyers are older than ever. The average age is now 40, a record, meaning young shoppers are frozen out.
Interest rates, I think, have kind of held people back, and also the prices, they just kind of keep going up. So that has kind of put a pause on a lot of people's searches.
Executives at several fast food chains say the biggest drop is in younger customers, diners 25 to 35. The reason? Growing financial pressure. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Burbank, California.
And as always, we'll continue to keep our eye on all the impacts of the government shutdown. But for now, let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast. Blaze.
And the first snow of the season has come and gone, so it was a cooler day today. Certainly, if you stepped outside, you felt the cold of this early taste of winter. Tomorrow is still going to be chilly. We're looking at maybe single-digit wind chill values to start off Monday. But as we look ahead to the rest of this week, temperatures are actually going to climb into the 40s, 50s, maybe even the 60s by this time next week. Temperatures will climb above freezing tomorrow, so any remaining snow is going to melt, but winds will still be out of the northwest, so it is going to feel much cooler in those single digits to low teens as we're waking up. If the kids are going to school, make sure that they are wearing that winter jacket, the gloves, the scarves, the hats. Heading to work, you may want to take all of that as well. By the time we're into the afternoon, we're at 4 p.m., still feeling as though we're in those low to mid 20s. So those northwesterly winds are going to do their job. They're going to keep us on the cooler side. And then they turn on the south as we head Monday night into Tuesday as a high pressure system slides its way to our south. That may bring a slight rain snow mix shower or two into the morning hours on Veterans Day. But for the rest of Tuesday, we are looking at drier conditions. It's still going to be breezy, though. Those winds will be out of the west, eventually turning out of the south by Tuesday later into the day. So any events outside are going to be dealing with breezy conditions, but we're not going to be dealing with any rain. And then as we look ahead to Wednesday, we'll continue to be on the quiet side. High pressure is going to keep us quiet as we go into the second half of next week. As it slides off towards the southeast, winds are going to continue to remain out of the south. So we're looking at about an 70 to 80% chance of being warmer than average from the 15th through the 19th. Our long-range models continue to show what looks to be a sizable system moving through the Midwest as we go into this upcoming weekend. And that's going to continue to keep that warmer than normal air overhead, even maybe as long as the 17th through the 23rd. We're still looking at that bullseye of about a 60 to 70% chance of being warmer than average. Whether that's by a degree or not, we'll just have to see. But again, these maps, we look at the darker reds or the blues, depending on what we're looking at, as a confidence level. The darker the colors, the higher the confidence is. So seeing that the confidence is there even 2 weeks out at least tells me that we're not eyeing another big cool down anytime soon. So there's a look at that 7 and 10 day forecast. If you're heading up to Lambeau, it is going to be a chilly one. But we're back into the 40s for your Veterans Day, flirting with the 50s as early as Wednesday. We may all be there by Thursday. And then again, if that big system does make its way through the Midwest, we're looking at the 60s by next Saturday with some rain moving into the picture starting Saturday night into that following Sunday.
You know, I know a lot of people have next Saturday circled for their calendars. You know, a bit of a cool down this week, but then they're going to get 60s on the weekend.
Oh, I thought something was happening.
Yeah, 60 degrees after a snowy weekend this weekend. No?
Okay.
60 on Saturday? No.
But why would they circle that?
To look forward to Saturday.
Yeah, it snowed this weekend. Then it gets to...
I'm so tired.
It's okay.
All right. Well, Kay, what do we have coming up in sports?
Coming up in sports, Luke Fickell and the Badgers finally get a breakthrough next on News 3 Now. The past couple of weekends for Wisconsin football have been nothing but sad. But for Luke Fickell, blocking out the noise and getting his team the most meaningful win as a Badger was what he put on display this weekend. At a snowy one in Camp Randall, led by the run game, defense, and special teams, the Badgers powered to a win over a ranked opponent for the first time since 2021. A breakthrough Coach Fickell was down to earth about.
I'm not here to tell you that this is the expectation. You know, to win one game and to, you know, expect the people to, or our fans to rush the field. I mean, there's a greater expectation. That's why I came here. That's why these guys came here. But at times, you've got to know that people have your back.
Hat trick alert and guten Morgen. In Germany, it was for former Badger Jonathan Taylor. Continuing an MVP run, JT ran for 244 yards, 3 touchdowns, carrying his Colts team to a 31-25 win in overtime across the country. Next up for Badgers football is the number 2 team in the country, the Indiana Hoosiers, and they'll head south to play in the Rock, while Wisconsin volleyball had no problem welcoming the Hoosiers into the field house, giving them a reality check and reminding them whose house they were in. With Charlie Furbringer back from injury, you know she was going to make an impact right away, setting up Booth Carter to knock it down for the kill after winning the first set. Hungry for more, they set up Mimi Collier, who spikes one down, one of her kills out of 14 on the day. Later, Alicia Andrew says not today, rejecting Indiana, and the Badgers would go on to sweep the Hoosiers in straight sets. Now, if you like Bucks basketball, you picked the perfect moment to tune in, because they will be right here next Saturday on News 3 Now to take on the Lakers. But today, they hosted Kevin Durant and the Rockets. Bucks held it down for majority of this game. Giannis with the Euro cross on the inside, dominating. As always, the Greek Freak would finish with a game high of 37 points. But the Rockets hit a fourth quarter flow. KD came out, putting up 2 of his 31 points, forcing the lead, and Houston remained a problem. The Bucks would lose 122 to 115.
I mean, how lucky is it that the Bucks in our state has what many consider a top 3 player in the world? But real quick, I want to shout out Jonathan Taylor. I have him in 2 of my fantasy leagues. He absolutely carried me today with 49.6 points. Absolutely loving it. But the story of the weekend, Badgers football getting a ranked win over the Washington Huskies. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I just think it gives them momentum, like going into the next couple games, going into the latter half of the season. You know, the first half is over and done with. Yeah. Now it's like, how can we pick ourselves up after we've been kicked and down for a little bit and just finish strong? And I think that's what they're going to try to do.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you, Kay. Definitely looking forward to their matchup next week against Indiana. A final check of your first one forecast is coming up when we return. My favorite stories to do here at the box office this weekend, the historical thriller Nuremberg began its run in 5th place, earning $4.1 million. And Sarah's Oil didn't exactly strike it rich, opening in 4th place with $4.5 million. Black Phone 2 fell to 3rd place on ticket sales worth $5.3 million. And Colleen Hoover's Regretting You made $7.1 million for a 2nd place finish. And a movie that Blaze and I had saw this week, Predator Badlands, obliterated the competition, opening with $40 million, a record debut for the franchise. Now I gotta ask you, Kate, are you a movie watcher by chance?
I'm starting to become one a little bit. I'm not a huge. I used to watch a lot of shows, so.
Okay, I got you.
He's a big one.
Yeah,
big movie watcher. Okay.
Favorite movie, real quick.
I'm a Notebook girl. I love romance. Yes,
so you probably would like the Colleen Hoover one. Quick assessment on Predator Badlands.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about weather. It was very good. I would definitely see it again. And if you are a fan of the Predator movies, it is a very good addition to the franchise. All
right. Well, since you thought we were talking about weather, let's go ahead and get to it.
It's been a long day. 20s starting out tomorrow, but it will feel like the single digits and teens. Even though we climb into the 30s with a bit more sunshine, it will feel cold throughout the day. 40s returning on Veterans Day.
All right. Sounds good. Seinfeld is up next. We'll see you tomorrow.